playing you a time lapse of me stripping down this engine while I introduce you to my own personal project. The faded green car is a 1982 Mk1 Golf Gti. I bought it off my good friend Jim a few years back with the seized engine you're watching come apart here. I've been working on this car on and off, but more not at all recently, due to no reason whatsoever. Not filming much, but then filming not working on a car isn't interesting anyway, so you've not missed much, if anything at all. Well, I say not much. It does now have a full roll cage welded in, as you can see here, although that was done by someone else far more skilled at roll cage fabrication than me, because I've got no skills at that whatsoever. But more on that in another episode, and what you now know turns out to be not just a full restoration, but a complete strip down and track car build. For now, here's a bit on the first stage of the project so far. Enjoy! Time to swap over to shaky hand cam. I wanted to just cover everything on this build I can. So yeah, lighting's a bit bad and not necessarily all going to be in focus because I am working on it, filming it and talking all at the same time, which is a little bit tricky to be fair. So having a quick look in the engine bay, there's one of the tie rod boots is split, so that's going to definitely need to be replaced. Things like that I'm looking for because I'm going to pull it apart and I need to make a list of all the parts I need to replace it. I'm actually thinking about digging out the quick rack that I've got for this, as it will be a bit more beneficial on a track car than it would be in a road car. The steering gaiter is in really good condition, which is quite rare for a Mark 1. These aren't actually available anymore, so I'm quite happy that that's good. I'll probably get a heat shield for that to protect it. Brake lines, they're alright, they're a little bit rusty, a little bit bendy, looks like possibly been replaced at some point because they don't seem to follow like an original line. I think I'm going to replace them anyway, so I know they're good. The brake bar has all been powder coated or painted recently, so I'm potentially going to just need to clean that up as long as it's all working okay. Give it some fresh grease, make sure it's all set properly. Brakes are really bad on the Mk1 Golf. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with them yet, but I'm definitely going to need to keep that in there. I'm not planning on putting a pedal box in this, it will just lose all feel. Brake master cylinder looks pretty stock to me, so probably just stay on the Mark 1. I'll be wanting to put a Mark 2 16 valve one on the right spec. It's a bigger bore, so you get a better braking pressure. So that'll be one upgrade I'll be covering. Battery tray is actually alright. I don't think I'm going to be putting the battery in the boot because it will need a specific battery to be inside the vehicle. I'm not planning on spending the money on that, so it's probably going to have to stay there, to be honest. There's a bunch of wires and things. I'd really want to go through the wiring. My one thing with this car is I want it to be reliable. That speaker wires definitely go in. Definitely be putting new earth leads in there and make sure the earth points are all good. Headlight wiring is all original, so I'm going to be going through the whole lot of that. The wiring for the engine will definitely be changing, as it's not a GTI engine anymore going in there, so probably won't even need half of that, to be honest with you. Just going to need the sensors. Other than that, the bay actually looks quite a good condition. Let's give it a jet wash, I think, and see what it cleans up like. Get rid of all this grease and yeah, see how it all goes. So yeah, there we go. Time to crack on with the time lapse of me actually doing some work for a change. Okay, so the wiring mess continues. There's again bits in here that I'm going to pull out. I'm just concentrating on stripping the bay at the moment, so just undone the fuse box. I'm going to pull that out because that mess of wiring down there, there's only a couple of these plugs that I need to undo to actually release the loom so I can feed it through and just pull the whole loom out of the engine bay. I'm going to do that now and then have a look at probably the brake lines and things like that. Just thought I'd give you a little update, seeing as you're watching the time lapse at the moment. So back on with the work. I've got the loom out of the engine bay now. It comes out those holes there and there. Disconnected that from the fuse box, pulled them all through. I've disconnected everything from the coil. There's all the brake light switches that are connected up, all the headlight wiring, all the wiring to the battery. There's not much, to be honest with you, but it's all out now. I already worked out that there's quite a few bits I'm going to cut out of it. Just basically going to leave in there the bits that I need and the bits that I need to run the engine and the lights, because it is going road legal. Over to the loom. That is the complete loom from the engine bay. So that is engine, charging system, fan and headlights. It's split into a couple of different sections. You got this one here. That's your right hand headlight. This bit normally runs along underneath the radiator. Left hand headlight. Then you've got all your battery, positive, negative. This is the fan control. The yellow plug is where it connects onto the fuse box. And then you've got two battery, brake light switches, and the sensor that goes on top of the brake fluid reservoir. The other two were never actually used in this car, so they were just hanging around. That's that loom. So obviously I'm gonna still need the charging system, but as you can see, this is all quite old and battered, so that will all be replaced with new. I'm gonna take all this hard plastic sheathing off. There's actually quite a lot of water come out of that when I took it out of the car, so that's not boding well for the wiring. My plan is to replace all the wiring, or as much of it as possible, with new wiring, so that I can actually, well, so that I know that it's all fresh. So what I can unpin from there and get new terminals, I will, and I'll reuse it. If not, I'm going to have to join it on to where the wires are good there, basically. So this bit here, the white plug is where it plugged onto the fuse box. This wasn't used. This one here, that's the one that runs off to the wiper motor. This one was your coil, and that one goes to the electronic ignition system, so I'll be keeping this bit but remaking it. That goes to the distributor. That's just an earth point onto the battery. This lot here is all your sensors, so you've got your oil temperature, your oil pressure. There's two pressure switches, one in the head, one in the block. That one there was on the gearbox for all the MFA stuff. I'll be junking that because I don't need that. Yeah, all of that's got to get renewed because it's all pretty rough and ready because it's been attached to the engine for 20 odd years. So yeah, a lot of that, probably about half of that, is going to be junked, and the rest of it will go renewed. So there we go, wire and loom out, on to the next bit.
I'll leave you watching me do the crappy job of removing soundproofing. Not a crap job of removing the soundproofing, the job of removing it is crap. Oh, the fun I had with that. In an effort to ease your pain from nearing the level of mine while doing this job, you could exit this painful visual image by clicking that little thumbs up logo and smashing the subscribe button, both of which we very much appreciated. Thanks for watching, see you later.